The new Lilo and Stitch. Is it the Disney classic
Hey, that's not Simba.
or woke garbage? Stitch is blue after all, and if leftists love one thing, it's dyeing their hair blue. As you can probably tell from the title of this video, I don't usually review movies.
Donnie T is really gonna do this shit, and on Pride, he be doing too much. Like, it's Hot Boy Summer, and we finna make ice melt, bitch.
But I was having a conversation with a guy at work, and he went on and on telling me how he refused to see the new Lilo and Stitch movie because of how woke it was. That got me thinking. Don't get me wrong, I know Disney sort of turned on its family-friendly audience years ago. They told mom that she didn't need dad, they told little Sally it was dad's fault that mom left him, and they told little Jimmy that with a few pills and some surgery, he could be Sally. But they kind of moved away from that. After Snow White started flopping like a fish in the movie theaters. And honestly, I grew up watching Disney, and if they learn from their mistakes, I'd like to at least give them a chance. Go back to the good old days, right? So I decided to test if what my friend had told me was true, and I watched the new Lilo and Stitch, looking out for two criteria as I did so. First, how similar was it to the original 2001 Lilo and Stitch? And second, was it woke? And let's just start off by saying that Stitch is actually a boy who's a furry. In one of the first scenes, he tears up the classroom because his litter box hasn't been changed. Totally kidding. Totally kidding. Stitch is not a furry. As a matter of fact, the opening scene was quite reminiscent of the animated film, which I also watched in preparation for this video. It opens up with the Galactic Council meeting in space and introduces us to mad scientists that created Stitch. The recreation of the aliens, and especially the Grand Councilwoman, was actually really good. And just like in the animated movie, Lilo has some behavioral problems. She doesn't quite get along with her fellow hula dancer and is definitely an outcast. We get a little more clarity on why Lilo's parents are gone in the live-action movie and how her sister was unexpectedly thrust into the role of Lilo's mother. Oddly enough, the story of the ugly duckling was omitted from this movie. I really like the cartoon's use of this story to represent both Lilo and also Stitch. Both of them don't fit in. Neither of them have much of a family, and that's what makes them perfect for each. One of my favorite things about the movie was the representation of the whiny little green Cyclops dude and Dr. Jumba Jakuba. Gosh, that's fun to say.
Jakuba.
And their relationship and contrast between the two of them was super hilarious in this film, and sparing us of one of the scenes I laughed at most in the original movie.
Your head looks swollen.
Actually, she's just ugly.
He's joking. Ugly. Look at me.
They actually ended up using a Harry Potter polyjuice potion style technology and morphed into two perfectly normal looking human males. One way they did pay homage to the original movie was this sort of evolution of the ice cream cone guy. Remember him? This guy? Instead of ice cream, it's a snow cone. And he actually appears on some of the most comical scenes in the movie, but he's still there. And Bubbles makes a reappearance as well. Stupid head.
Which way you're going? Stupid head! You must be
The stupid head.
But in this movie, there's a female social worker, and Bubbles is a legitimate full-time CIA agent. And I love the jab that Disney makes about how the CIA is really good at keeping secrets. But both the animated film and the live-action remake have two things in common. In both movies, the Department of Social Services is pressuring Nani to give up Lilo, and an emphasis on Ohana and family, and no one getting left behind. There's a couple of scenes from the new movie I love that emphasize that point. In one of them, Nani and Lilo are singing together, and in another, Stitch gets into a dangerous situation, and he gestures the same dance that Lilo did while singing the song. Almost brought a tear to my eye. But seemingly, this is where the live action and the animated film begin to show some differences. For one, Nani is super smart and gets accepted into a marine biology program at a prestigious university. And secondly, the "Until We Meet Again" portion of the song seems to be stressed halfway through the movie. It's clear that Nani wants to go off to college, but feels stuck taking care of Lilo. And that seems to be a large part of the criticism that conservatives seem to have for the movie. If responsibility is thrust into your life, especially in the form of a child, it's wrong to just remove it from your life. Some conservatives even relate it to abortion. Nani going off to college is the equivalent of a young woman who doesn't want to be burdened by the responsibility of motherhood, ridding herself of unwanted responsibility. And I understand the logic behind that comparison. And if any of you can't tell, I'm definitely not pro-choice, but I think it's a little bit of a reach. One thing complicating this whole thing is that Nani doesn't really want to give up Lilo, but social services sort of twists her hand into doing it. Don't get me wrong, she could probably fight the pressure if she wanted to, but another complicating factor is this old neighbor lady who also tells Nani that her parents would want her to go off and use the brain that she has to pursue her dreams. And I know I said that I thought the abortion comparison was a reach, but I didn't appreciate the ending. Nani does decide to leave. And maybe the film's creators were just from an upper class culture that prioritizes education over anything. But I can't help but feel that there is this subtle message that it's okay to sacrifice responsibility and motherhood if it betters your life personally. And even if we don't go as far as to draw a comparison with abortion, I think by the film's own criteria, Nani's decision to leave her sister was the wrong one. There's a scene where after Lilo and Nani fight, they have a moment in which Lilo tells Nani that she likes her better as a sister than a mom. However, later on in the film, Lilo corrects her earlier statement and tells Nani that she likes her as a mom too. Heartwarming, right? But not as heartwarming as the marine biology degree, apparently, because Nani eats the hell up on out of Hawaii, and the movie ends with her leaving her sister in the care of the neighbor lady. So much for family means nobody gets left behind, and more like until we meet again. And honestly, I understand the dilemma. Nani isn't killing Lilo by leaving her, and it would suck to give up your dream to take care of your sister. It isn't fair, but life isn't fair. And honestly, Nani probably could have gotten a marine biology degree at a university in Hawaii or pursued a higher education once Lilo was grown up. I did really enjoy the movie, but the ending was disappointing. So, back to the two criteria. Was it true to the original film? Absolutely. And quite frankly, it's one of the better movies that Disney has put out recently. Secondly, was it woke? Not super woke, but kind of. There was definitely this subtle message of tolerance for young women to put off motherhood in pursuit of something better. And for that reason, I give it a wokeness rating of 4 out of 10. Better than in the past, but still present. I'm glad conservatives are weary of organizations like Disney, but I also think that we should recognize progress where progress is made. And honestly, Disney has scaled back quite a bit on the wokeness and made it more subtle. Does that make it better? Maybe not. But subtle is definitely better than blatant. If you watched this far into the video, that means you enjoyed the content in it. I post conservative content on a weekly basis, and it'd mean the world to me if you'd like and subscribe to support my channel. Aloha, and until we meet again.
Like and subscribe or I'm going to college and DSS is gonna get your ass.